Now, she might be best known for delivering babies and Call The Midwife, but today we're talking about the needs of one very special baby close to Jenny Agutter.
Yeah, he is baby Albie. There he is.
Hi, Albie.
Hello, Albie. Hello. This is Jenny's great-nephew. Sadly, he has cystic fibrosis. It's a condition that could be helped if a life-changing drug was available for you. That's right. And it's a drug that, in England, he can't have. Also, we've got Dr Ranj alongside them both this morning. So, Jenny, tell us about this drug that would help Albie and why he can't have it.
Because there is an agreement has to be made between the NHS and the drug company Vertex, which you mentioned.
And they're in America.
And they're in America, and they've made agreements all over Europe, and we're just at a deadlock. And I don't doubt that an agreement will be made, because it is a life-changing drug. It's a matter of when and how long lung damage goes on in people with cystic fibrosis.
And what do you believe this drug could do for Albie? Because there's no cure.
Because it's all can be, and the ones that follow, like Cymveki.
Yeah. So the other, there are a few more medications coming through that are also even better than Orkambi, but Orkambi actually treats the root cause of CF for the first time rather than the symptoms. So that's what's really important.
And Georgie, at the moment, Albie's how old?
He's 13 months.
13 months.
Yeah.
Any effects, any symptoms so far?
I mean, he was diagnosed at 4 weeks old because it's now on the heel prick test, which is really important, so it's kept him pretty healthy. We just do daily physiotherapy twice a day. He's on enzyme replacement therapy as well, which helps him to absorb fat from his food, so keeps him healthy weight, as you can see. So, yeah, for now, he's doing really well. But
cystic fibrosis is a life-limiting condition, doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So 50% of people who have cystic fibrosis can expect to live to about 45 years. It is better than it used to be, but obviously we've still got a long way to go. It is a lifelong condition. There is currently no cure, but as Georgie quite rightly pointed out, previously treatments have targeted symptoms or the results of the condition. Now we have these potential treatments that could actually target the cause, which is this defective receptor that's present all over the body. But obviously the biggest cause of death in cystic fibrosis is the decline in lung function. And these medications have got some evidence to show that they slow that decline down. Now, the difficulty here is they're not suitable for everybody. They don't work in everybody, and they are very, very expensive. So when you're faced with a brand new treatment that is very expensive, it is down to organisations like NICE to evaluate it to see if it's cost effective. Now, currently, it is not deemed to be cost effective, but like Jenny said, they're locked in a stalemate over how much we pay. The NHS has offered £500 million over 5 years.
It's almost insulting, I suppose, for you to hear this term that's not cost-effective.
It's also difficult because if you think of the amount it costs if someone goes into hospital and when the damage is done, how difficult that is to take care of and how expensive it is to have a lung transplant, then the comparative value of having a drug that will keep somebody healthy it makes a big difference, because economically those people are part of a working world and our society, and I just want to see. So it's all around the studio now.
Yes, I know. We're being slightly overshadowed this conversation.
And his aunt, of course, it has cystic fibrosis. So 40 years ago, you talk about expectancy now being around 45.
Your sister, my sister Rachel, So
it's quite unusual because it's gone into another generation.
So there's a gene in your family?
There's a gene in the family, but it's a hidden gene, generally. And in fact, when George had her first child, there was no cystic fibrosis, and her partner, her husband, was tested, and it appeared that he didn't have the gene that would mean that they might have a child with CF.
Yeah, they only test for the 50 most common mutations, and my husband has.
So at the moment, Ranj, 500 million is the offer that's been made by the NHS.
One of the offers that's been made is £500 million over 5 years for access to Orkambi and other drugs.
Right.
And the pharmaceutical company has said that's not enough, because obviously it costs a lot of money to develop these and produce and supply these medications. Let's put that number into perspective, though. If currently it costs about £104,000 a year per patient to treat them with Orkambi. Now, if only half the UK CF population were treated, that's still £500 million every year. £500 million pays for 5,000 GPs, 20,000 nurses, 8,000 mental health stays for children. you've got to weigh up against it, and I hate comparing conditions because it's not fair.
But,
you
know,
have to
it's
justify
so
the
difficult,
cost.
isn't it?
Well, you know, there's things that we expect of the NHS that are not life-limiting. This is life-limiting, and this medicine is available in 13 other countries. They have found the money to provide it on their within their services. And I mean, and the thing is, I wouldn't let the government. It's always keen to paint the drugs companies as the bad guys in this. You know, I'm not against that, but what I'm saying is, it's the same as the argument with the BBC.
Yeah.
This is austerity from the government. They make a decision and they say, we're not paying you this anymore, so you can charge anybody over 75 their BBC television licence again. It is the same sort of thing. Surely there is a moral obligation, if this cure exists, to provide it.
Absolutely.
It feels like that, certainly from the point of view of our family, I must say.
But Eamonn, you have to remember, it's not a cure. It's something that slows the condition down, and it's only suitable for some people. So when it's so expensive and only works in some and may not work in others, we have to be very, very careful where
But drug prices do come down eventually.
Absolutely.
And also the development is what is important. They are able to continue to develop drugs, and in the future we will have a cure.
Well, when you look at Albie, he's so full of life. Look at him, and he's having a lovely time calling around. It must be hard for you, though, Georgie, thinking, well, that's now, but this condition is going to get worse.
It is
very
going
hard
to get
for you
worst.
to think, why won't people just pay for this drug?
Exactly, and preserving the lung function is, you know, key in this and keeping patients healthy. You know, we've seen my sister, and you know, we've had to witness her suffer and her lungs decline. So I obviously don't want that to happen to Albie, and you know, it's really important that we get these medicines and we get them now.
So what can you do? We've got 30 seconds just to sum that up. We are where we're at. What's the future and what's your role in that, Jenny?
We're just pushing really to the government, as you say, to get behind and say, let's do this now rather than later, because it will happen, but if we do it now, we'll save many more lives.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you
all
wish you
very
luck
much
with that.
indeed. Where have we lost?
Where's Albie?
Come on in. Kate,
Coming back.
Kate, you can return him to his mother now.
Come on, then.
Very good. Thank you very much indeed.